It's funny that you say that because obviously there's been a high profile case.
What's that?
Over in the States, and then the whole talk of us being more hard on ourselves than we are on other people.
Both in Gene case.
Yeah, and obviously the court case and the whole conversation of us being so forgiving to the other.
Yeah,
because I lost my thought.
It's a foul case, man, and I know what you mean. So you're referring to the clip that we'd all seen was the brother of both from Gene saying that he forgives Amber Geiger, the police officer that killed his brother. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I didn't tweet out and say whatever type of compassionate Christianity that is, I'm not for it. I serve a vengeful God, innit? Man is on revenge. Smoke, smoky settings at all times, innit? And I could be projecting because I've not been in that situation. I know what that feels like. But I have enough belief in myself that I ain't forgiven anybody that's done a wrong to my loved one. But I will cut that person some slack because that is their brother and how they beliefs and what you believe in. Like some people hold them very dear, innit? And they they follow them by the letter.
Yeah.
He may genuinely believe that due to his religious beliefs that this is how I should move, innit? I'm not overly mad at him, even though I tweeted what I tweeted. Now, as for the judge, we saw that clip where the judge goes to hug her. I don't get that, innit? Yeah. And then you've got the black female police officer within the court as well,
stroking her hair and
stuff. When I see those things, I was like, is this a Black Mirror episode? What's going on here? Like, I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, of course. Never seen that. In regards to like the side of the law doing all that, that is insane because like I can imagine the victim's brother still having like conflicting thoughts whilst he's doing the unimaginable to most, because you would think like, rah, this person standing before me killed my brother and I'm there forgiving them or hugging them. Like just imagining someone in that position to go and do that, their emotions are still running wild. Like there's still something that's probably sensitive and pulling him back to not do it, but he's doing it anyway. And I guess like in terms of how people grieve, they say it takes time. You never fully get over it, but time is a healer, they say, right? And I think the actual crime was done a year ago.
Yeah.
So he's probably had so much time to process what's going on and stuff like that. That's why whilst everyone was outraged, I wasn't like, too quick to like, and even though I have the same sentiments as you, could never be me, but you just never know.
Do you know why I wasn't as outraged? Because there have been videos of people hugging their son or daughter's killers. So this isn't a new concept.
Yeah.
I think the outrage came from because it was seen as this is another white woman getting away. Like, do you know what I'm saying? White privilege, she's got away with murder.
Let's give a buck because it's a black man as well.
Yeah, that too.
I saw the tweets. I ain't gonna say name. You know who you are. You're listening to this, and you probably use the hashtag to respond at some point. I saw the tweets saying, black men are the weakest links," and then you will see the 2 or 3 tweets later talking about the black female judge and the officer. I don't want to start doing black men against black women, but if that's what you're leading with, and you've got 2 people in authority, they're working, they're at their job, innit, doing what they're doing. Let's not do that.
So there's no emotional ties.
You've seen videos of people, like other judges consoling.
No, not judges.
Family members.
Yeah, family members.
Consoling. With the judge, I think the bit that I found disturbing was the fact that I think they said
talk to the mic for us, sir.
The judge told the jury that they could consider the woman on a manslaughter charge. I feel like that's where a lot of the outrage came from the judge. So it was a culmination of her saying that they could sentence her on manslaughter, which would carry significantly lower charges. And then on top of that, you're seen to be like mollycoddling the victim. It's like, okay, you're saying like it's compassion, it's the Christian thing, fine, but isn't a big thing in America being able to separate church and state? So regardless of which way you look at it, you're sort of blurring lines. And why, if considering how compelling the evidence was against this woman, she's had a history of being racist, she's had an issue of she's been written up at work for using excessive force specifically towards black people. You are on the wrong floor. If you are a police officer the least that is required of you is that you're supposed to have your wits about you, but somehow you were able to leave your car, get in the lift, kick down the wrong front door, step inside, not realise that these were your belongings, and then shoot someone. So it's like, how could you look at all of that and then what the judge has done and then not feel outraged towards those people? Because I'm not usually the type to sort of get so involved in this whole race thing, like, and not to play the All Lives Matter card, but there does have to come a time where, as black people, we need to accept that these things have happened and are happening, but maybe focus on how we move past it, not to excuse or forget everything that's happened before, but it gets to a point where it's like, okay, what are we supposed to do if black people aren't standing up for black people as well? Fair enough, you don't want to keep on like repeating the cycle of racism, but surely you feel like the least you could do, if you weren't going to stand up for us in your position of power, in a position of influence, where your actions are being seen not just by the nation but the whole world. You had one moment where
you had one job.
You done nothing. All you had to do was do nothing, and that would have been okay. But you decided to go so far left against all of that, and do what you did. That's where sort of my issue was with all of it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, there is a school of thought that the judge may have transferred some voodoo through the hug. If that was the case, and she drops dead on the wing next week,
hey,
hold the judge.
Hold this voodoo.
Yeah. Hold that through the hug, innit? Like, if they,
covertly sticking a pin in her.
Yeah. I don't mind that. Like, I hear what you're saying. I think, but the only way we can move, it's hard to even say move past. Only possibly way we can do that is when stand-up case like this happen, the person has to get enough punishment for us to be satisfied. So 10 years for me is far from enough. The fact she even got convicted, I was surprised, but that shows how much evidence there was against her, where they could even still try and sweep it under the rug. It's too much. Like, you know, like, bitch, you went too far. Like, you have to kill him. You just shoot niggas in the knee now. It's too much, innit? She did way too much. So she killed him, but then you've got the blue wall of silence because it's so high profile. She is also a white woman, and you've got the white woman tears. You've got the system against, like, I don't even want to say should we cut the judge some slack, but do we know what they're facing on the other end? Because let's be really frank here, courtrooms across the world, it's a lot of corridors of power, deals get made, innit? Like, listen, we're gonna pattern this up, we'll pattern that up. Did you not see that one of the members of the jury got shot in the mouth and is now dead?
He's dead.
He's dead. Joshua Brown. So I think there's a lot more to this case than we probably know about or will ever know about.
Do you know what my thing is? I do feel like the judge should have been impartial. In terms of the brother, I was kind of on the fence. The reason I was on the fence is because I feel like black people are not afforded that ability to be angry and to be aggressive. Do you know what I'm saying? Or even me, I'm saying the word aggressive, but do you get what I'm trying to say? Upset, like, you know, I feel like we have to be more patient. We have to be more understanding. And
that ties into things like she was saying about the lady, the officer being a bit more aggressive with black people is because we're deemed to be stronger. Like, bro, some like release like louder strength sometimes because everyone deems us that way, innit? People always deem so they will hand off certain way. You get like an Eric Garner where you will have 7 police officers. Okay, listen, he's a big nigga, but you're choking him. It's fine, you've won, innit? Choke the man all the way till he dies now, and you've got I can't breathe t-shirts. It's excessive force, but they are culturally like led to believe that we are stronger than everybody else.
The judge did actually. She gave the woman a Bible. That's what she did.
Yeah, and then hugged her.
She gave her a Bible and then hugged her as well. It's like,
nah.
I think
this Bible ain't gonna save you on a wing.
I think it's a law thing though as well. I think it's a factual thing. So I think with cases like this, a lot of people go in emotions, but sometimes there's like actual laws behind it. And the reason she was found of murder and not manslaughter is because the facts point to murder. But she wasn't able to use the whole like stand your ground defense. So the facts did show it was an actual mistake. They were talking about like how she was sleep deprived and she'd only just moved into the apartment and
that's
all of these stuff.
That's not a strong enough fact for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like for a police officer, like I can imagine part of your training is to be alert at all times, isn't it? You have to be alert. And she was texting another Donny in the same breath. So it's just mad. And the thing is that she was facing up to 99 years and she got 10. That is absolutely outrageous.
And that's what the issue is this disparity. So yes, she got convicted of murder, but she still got a lighter sentence in comparison to what many other people up and down the country. And it would just be because she's a white woman and she's a police officer. So that's where the mistrust happens. And that's when you get this blurred lines in the community where now people won't want to report stuff to the police or
and there's talks of like, oh yeah, let's it's true, and like there's this talk of like, oh yeah, let's infiltrate these spaces, like let's have more of us in positions of power, this is the number one example. We've got someone right there that has the power to do right by the victim's family and by the victim, and she goes and gives the person 10 years. So what, like, she's not even going to do the full sentence?
I guess it's the jury though, and I think that's the kind of messed up thing with America, is that their constitution is so open. It's like lawyers can actually get away with stuff. You can actually get away with murder in that country. I think here in the UK it's a little bit different. I think it's a bit stricter.
It's a tough one, man.
Question,
Go on.
So what did the brother exactly do?
He hugged her.
Did the brother hug as well?
Yeah, the brother hugged her and said he forgives her, and he said, I know if my brother was alive, he wouldn't want you to go to jail.
No, don't speak on my behalf, bro. Nah,
I was like, whoa.
This is when I start dancing in your dreams, cuz, on your head.
He said, I know that he would want us to forgive you, basically.
I don't know. Everyone tries to paint their family in like amazing light. Listen, I've gone now.
Older brother or younger brother?
Bro, it don't matter.
I'm not sure.
You see me, yeah? Like, try and hug my murderer, fam.
They will speak into existence.
Sleep paralysis, innit? Every night.
Yeah.
But I hear you, cuz.
I get it, yeah. But you see, so they're giving the brother flack for that, innit? Is what's happening on the line, right?
Yeah, there was extreme. There was like the other end, like Coon, all this stuff. That for me is extreme.
Right, that's mad.
Yeah. Well, you'll get that because we work in extremes online, innit? But I think you can see from the mood in this room, I understand if it's like it was off the basis of his religious beliefs. I can get that, innit? It's still mad to me, but your beliefs are your beliefs. If you feel like I am meant to follow these tenements, whatever, by the letter, then fine, innit? But it's just the optics as well. Like, we get to see you visually go and give that person like compassion and that in the moment where like it should be rage.
Do you know what I find absurd, yeah? And I understand it completely, but at the same time, that's probably the strongest person that you could ever see. You see, with grievances, especially if someone stole from you, the idea that you have to live with that anger and never be able to essentially express it is one thing, innit?
Of course, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you can be angry, you can be mad, you can do whatever, but
you're the only one that's hurting throughout that, innit?
That justice doesn't serve your anger. That person get 99 years. You won't feel any better. 10 billion years. You won't feel any better. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But you see, having the strength to actually, because it's a healing process, innit? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Being able to make that step at such a stage, to me personally, that represents more strength than anything else, innit? All that outrage and you know what I would have done and this and that.
It's the Malcolm and Martin thing. It's like, can you take this beating, innit? It's almost that.
I wouldn't say that, because you're not taking a beating. You're actually taking a step forward, and it's not a matter of, because what are you gonna do? Are you gonna murder that person? That's the only equal thing you're gonna do, but you're not gonna do that. Do you understand? You can say this, that, and the third, but you're not gonna do none of the above. So the reality is, with that person, I can't really hear no one saying, me personally saying that, how could you do that? Because it's so outlandish, but you will get to a stage where someone kills one of your family members, 15 years later, you can be mad at the time saying you're going to do this. When they come out of jail, you're not going to do nothing. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's it, but I'm not mad at people that don't vibrate at that frequency. I think you can have both. Like, you can have both. I understand that. And I understand that premise and that thought process. Great, fantastic. But can I get smoke and then I heal after? Like,
maybe it was enough for him.
People do want their justice, innit?
But like, maybe it was enough for him. I feel like people are so angry because they were projecting to a certain extent. I feel like they saw this as such a landmark case, and oh my god, this is like, I'm surprised that she got convicted of murder. So then to have that kind of I don't want to call it a small win, but that kind of small victory for Black lives, and then for him to hug her, I think people saw that as a step backwards.
Do you know why that throws me off? Because it's like, people are more concerned, and this is what's fucked. Everyone's more concerned with what happened to her as opposed to what's happening with the family. Because you're looking at it from a perspective of, but she just got away. My brother is trying to heal. You're looking at it wrong already, because you're trying to win with your agenda, as opposed to, you're not a victim. She's not a victim. The only victims are the family, you understand?
So his actions within the optics of that make her become a victim, because we are now, you've got him hugging her, you've got the judge hugging her, you've got the female officer, like she become, in that moment there, we almost for a split second forget that she's going to jail for murder.
She's a murderer.
Like, I know what you're saying, but his actions do play into into that victim mentality, where you got the white man with the tears, you got the judge doing that, you got the female police officer doing that. So it is a lot, and I'm not mad at it, because everyone like moves at a different pace, isn't it? We're not all gonna vibrate on that frequency. I'm not angry at the people that want rage. I'm not angry at him for being the way he is, because like I said, there is a different type of strength, isn't it? But I'll be honest, I maybe don't want that type of strength.
No, I hear
it's
that,
fine to say I'm on rage.
You know, is the idea of what a victim isn't always as conventional as what you think.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And in that regard, that's what I'm referring to, innit? You see what I'm saying? Because somebody is handling it in a way, or may have surpassed certain steps, he and his family are still the victims in this, regardless of how you look at it, regardless of how it's made you feel, regardless of what it's triggered in society. They are still the victims because they had something.
They've lost a loved one.
You see what I'm saying?
That is true,
and that's just a fact. That's not. It's not my opinion. That's just a fact. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm looking at. I'm like to myself, it's so mad that people are outraged, by a situation, but you're getting at somebody that just lost someone.
Yeah.
So you're acting like you're outraged on what's happened, but you're not, because you're getting at the family member that lost someone. Perspective is a very fucked thing.
And it's easy to comment when you haven't been through it. And Donny could have been mad 24 hours before. He could have acted like that in that moment and then go home and be on rage. Like, it might be a process for him. He may be in that moment cool.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Like the fact that he leant over to hug this woman, he's got so many conflicting thoughts in his head. Like, rah, should I? Shouldn't I? Like, how's this gonna look?
He might have gone to choke her and just change his mind last minute. He might have gone, you know what? I want to choke her, but I'll go to jail.
And the thing is that we don't even know how hard man was breathing when he was reaching for the hug.
And why fuck you say what you say? Yeah, we all say this. Yeah. But if Donny choked and I went jail, is anyone putting money in his books? The GoFundMe? Everyone's saying free my man, but are you going to stand in a gap for him to?
No, they're not.
Because if you were, cool, rage, I'll support him fully. But I know they're not going to go the extra mile.
It always throws me when I see like when people are so passionate about things that they're only passionate about for the moment. You see what I'm saying? Because these are things that people have to live with for the rest of their lives, innit? So don't gas me to do something that you're not going to back. Oh, it was then. No, because now I'm doing 25 years.
I know you're Gerard.
It don't really make sense.
He went too far. The man are moving mad. Bro, you pushed me.
You put the battery in my back.
Yeah, I'm done, man. Fuck it.
When he's just passionate about something, just gotta let him go.
Nah,
we ain't gonna hear from him for another 2 weeks.
The thing is, but he's right though. Like, and this is one of the many examples is that everyone is different. Everyone handles and processes things differently. So you're just thinking about like what I would do, but wait a minute, like you got to think about the person that's in the situation, that's actually living through it. Because I can sleep well at night, chatting shit on the internet, basing it on my emotions. I can go to sleep. Donny's not going to sleep.
We don't even know Donny. Like, we don't know how he moves. We don't know his characteristics. Like, we don't know nothing about.
The brother may be right. He may be on the same wave as him and be a compassionate Christian, whatever, and be like, he brother may have forgave him. You know,
possibly.
I mean, listen, I don't mind a certain level. Once you start stepping over and like you're a weak link, you're a coon, I think you go too far in it.
Yeah, man.
Like, I feel like if you're gonna call someone a coon, I need solid, hard like evidence. Like, I need it to be black and white. So then you let the C word fly in it. Then we just got to let it fly. I want us to be